Hi, everybody. I hope you are enjoying the class so far. I wanted to touch base now that we are a couple of weeks into the semester and give you a little bit of feedback and some updates. So I know that many of you have just watched this video where we talked about the global pandemic and gave you these statistics, which were current as of 2021. And now I want to bring you up to date into 2022. It's really sobering, I think, especially over the weekend when the Arizona Department of Health dashboard recorded 27,681 new cases of COVID-19 in one day, along with 55 new deaths. So, as of January 2022, we've had 1.7 million cases of COVID just in Arizona and 25,502 deaths. We compare that to the overall United States, where there have been 70 million cases and a staggering 864,000 deaths. It's really been a difficult couple of years, most especially for those of us who've lost somebody. So, I want to just talk a little bit about how governments prepare and respond. This quote comes from that last lecture talking about the pandemic, how before a pandemic, anything you say sounds alarmist. And then after a pandemic, everything you say seems completely inadequate. So we have a recurring theme that we see again and again, and that is the effort to trace the origin of the pandemic. So we see this in the film Contagion, we see it in World War Z, where the main character, Jerry, played by Brad Pitt, is searching the world for patient zero. He's trying to find both the cause and the cure. Even more interesting is how the novel World War Z plays with this idea, understanding that the origins of a pandemic comes through lots of different sources and various perspectives. So if you've read that or a few chapters from that, you've seen how each chapter is a different perspective from a different source across the world. So I hope to see some comments in Yellow Dig about what you guys think about the movie versus the novel, which I think is a really interesting comparison. So in our world, the search for the origin of COVID-19, the coronavirus, is ongoing. And although conspiracy theories about its origin have begun to die down a bit, our government and other scientists have spent a great deal of time debunking conspiracy theories and trying to articulate what we know about the origins of COVID-19. So, whoops, let me go back. This right here is an article from the peer-reviewed journal Nature that looks at in really in great detail the different arguments for what the origin of the COVID pandemic might be. And then here's a recently declassified comprehensive report from the Office of the Director of the National Intelligence and the National Intelligence Council, which is a whole group of different organizations and experts. And it examines the origins of COVID-19. So for those who are interested, there's a link on the screen, or you can just Google this. Now, because Yellow Dig is a quarter of your grade, and because you guys won't actually turn in a full essay until February 20th, I want to make sure you are receiving enough feedback on your Yellow Dig posts and from me so that you can feel comfortable with the level and quality of the writing that you're doing so far. And I want to show you a couple of examples of really excellent Yellow Dig posts and then explain what it is that makes it so good. So I think the fun thing about Yellow Dig is it really is an opportunity for you to dive into the material and take a close look at it. So if you look at this post right here, the title, Tiptree and Wald, clearly indicates what's going to be covered. It's not just, and then the writer gives a bit of sense of his or her kind of struggle with reading the story about Dr. Ain. and indicates that she didn't just read it once, she had to kind of read it twice. And then really we see good analysis of the story and her growing understanding of what it means or how to analyze or interpret it. And so the student has worked closely with the text. There's some plot summary, some character analysis of Dr. Ain. And then I really like the comparison here of the HIV epidemic from the 1980s. And then the student moves on to bring in Wald, the article that we've read prior to this, and to offer analysis of Wald. And so I really think this is a detailed and carefully written Yellow Dig response. Okay, so now let's look at this one, another really excellent response, because it combines a piece that we read, I think it was optional, by Susan Sontag, with the article by Priscilla Wald, which is just really a foundational scholarly text for our course. And it puts them in dialogue in really interesting ways. So you see really strong summary here and really good analysis of Wald, along with citations from Susan Sontag's Illness as a Metaphor. The content of this post really does fulfill the three tags at the top: cultural analysis, the pandemic, and secondary sources and scholarly work. So not only does that tell me that the writer of this post understands exactly how this post is contributing and in what ways to our class, but then the post follows through and covers all of those bases. So with both of these responses, we have in common that they work closely with the text, either a written text or the film, and there's brief but good summary, and then citations from the text. So all strong Yellow Dig posts will include that. Will include analysis of the text, brief summary, right? But just that's what will allow you to build that analysis that you do. And then citation, so something really specific from the text. So I hope that helps. I know I'm going through this quickly, so you can stop the video and sort of read these in detail. You can always let me know if you have questions, and get ready for our next module, which is really awesome. It's called Social Ills. We were already sick. And so it asks us to think more about who the monsters are and how we understand those monsters. So I will be super excited to hear what you have to say about that. And then I just want to remind you that my office hours are on Thursdays from 12 to 2. So I'm always sitting on Zoom during that time. If you're in Arizona, you're welcome to come to my office. That information is on the syllabus. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, I love it when people stop by with questions, comments, or concerns. I really enjoy meeting you guys. So please stop by if there's anything that you would like to discuss. And I also want to remind people that all of the materials that are provided on Canvas are copyrighted, and you are not allowed to share any of this material outside of the class. So again, if you have questions about that, let me know. I'm happy to talk about it. I'm always super curious to see what you guys have to say, and I know Yellow Dig is a great place for you to do that. But if you want to talk about stuff in more detail, please let me know. Come to my office hours. And if that time doesn't work, just shoot me an email. I'm happy to find another time that will work for you. So I hope to see some of you. I'd love to meet some of you in person. Please enjoy the next module.